And Charles Barkley, on the year anniversary of our last time we saw him, joining us right now on the Corona Hotline. Chuck, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm taking it personally that y'all had an anti-gambling message on commercial right before I came on.
Not anti-gambling.
No.
We were just saying if you have a gambling we got to read the small print in order for it to stay legal in the state of Illinois. Waddle and I are now on the DraftKings gambling train.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my man, let me tell you something. I love gambling. I'm so sad football is over. Oh, my God. And then I got my ass handed to me. Man, Tom Brady got me again, brothers. Got me again.
You had the Chiefs?
I had the Chiefs, man. That's the second time he broke my heart. I mean, against the Falcons, that broke my heart. But, man, listen, that was amazing. I'm not even going to hate what he's accomplished. He's the greatest football player ever. But, man, that defense, I got a lot of love for Pat Mahomes, man. I thought they were going to kill that dude out there.
Yeah, defensively, the Buccaneers came to play. I think the best thing you can say about Brady is he didn't make any mistakes. I don't think they win that game directly because of everything great that Brady did. That was a complete team win for the Buccaneers.
It was a complete team win. I mean, those linebackers and that defensive line, I mean, it was a thing of beauty to watch. I mean, Pat Mahomes was running from his life. He was running his life for 4 straight quarters. So kudos to the Buccaneers, man. Great win. Hey, that's why we gamble, though. You got a 50-50 chance you're either going to win or lose.
Chuck, I know you're a fan of Belichick, but how does this win with the Buccaneers away from the Patriots, how does it affect the whole Brady-Belichick conversation in your world?
You know, I've been disappointed, to be honest with you, that people's trying to do that to Belichick. Listen, they're the greatest. He's the greatest coach ever. Tom's the greatest football player ever. But Tom just had a better team. You think about it, I'm pretty sure if Tom Brady, I actually think they did him a favor letting him get out of New England because they were not going to win this year. But I don't think this damages Belichick's credibility. I mean, dude's been to 9 Super Bowls. And listen, let's be realistic. That Tampa Bay team was loaded. I mean, they were loaded. I mean, Tom didn't have them type of wide receivers probably since Randy Moss in New England. But like I said, you just said it earlier, that defense, I'm not going to take anything away from Tom, but that defense won that game, man. I mean, that defense won that game. But, hey, I don't want to do that. That's disrespectful to Belichick. I mean, because a couple of those Super Bowls that, they won was because of the defense in New England. So, and I'm not going to discredit Tom like that because he was still in the game. So, no, man, they both are the greatest to do what they did.
Will you discredit Tom Brady as far as being a lightweight when it comes to the booze?
The celebration.
Well, wait, hold on. You don't know how much he had. We don't have any idea. First of all, let's get one thing straight now. We all been drunk off our asses before.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
All of us, yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But, hey, if I win a Super Bowl at 43, I think I can get drunk as I want to. I'm not going to lie.
How much of his staggering do you think, Charles, had to do with being on a boat and being out in the sun for a while?
Oh, no. Nice try. Nice try. Hey, zero. Hey, listen, man. But you think about it. If you win the Super Bowl, especially, this is the worst year of our life. This pandemic thing, man, I just feel so bad for people, number one, who lost their life. That's the most important thing. But all the people who lost their jobs or their small businesses. So my thoughts are with all those people. But I give those football players a lot of credit, man. I mean, if you make it through a season now with all the protocols and everybody's healthy, I mean, you got to celebrate. I mean, because this is the worst thing ever happened in our lifetime by far.
You know, I hope you could tell this story because I read it on Twitter the other day. And I always remember that in the beginning of the pandemic or when sports were canceled, one of the first times I sat down in front of a TV to watch an event was the match that you guys were doing on Turner. And it was when Tom Brady was playing and he had that unbelievable shot when you were ribbing him. There was a story, though, supposedly he was running in the parking lot and you said to him, "What the hell are you doing?" Can you tell that story?
Yeah, of course I can. So the morning of the match, the golf course was closed except for the announcers and the players. And there was a few people working at the golf club. And the day before, the Saturday, I had went out and played with Dustin Johnson. So I was already down there. So that day, I watched this guy on the range. I said, "Yo, man, how long has Tom Brady been on the range?" He's like, "Oh, he's been out there for 8 hours." I'm like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, he's been out there for 8 hours. He's trying to find a driver. He had a bunch of drivers. He hit balls for like 8 hours." And that was Saturday. So go down Sunday. We have to be at the golf course to get tested. And I see this dude running in the parking lot. And as I get closer, it's Tom Brady. He's running wind sprints and things in the parking lot. And he had just hit balls for 8 hours, and the match was going to be in like 3 hours. So this dude is out there working out in the parking lot. And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, Chuck, I'm trying to win another Super Bowl." I'm like, "Damn, that's what greatness looked like right there." It was crazy. It was unbelievable.
Why is he running on the blacktop?
And nobody's around. I told you, you had to get tested and have to have ID just to get on the property. So he ain't doing this for show. He's doing this like he's the only. Like I think me and him are probably the only two people there that early. And I'm like, wow, that is unbelievable. And hey, and the rest is history. I mean, it was just amazing, brother. It was amazing.
It's incredible. And Chuck, whenever someone brings up LeBron versus Michael, I get offended. I don't even want to partake. I hate the debate. I think it's stupid. But I'm not offended when people bring up Brady now against Michael. How do you see that one for the greatest of all time?
Well, I think it's Brady. And let me explain why. And I was watching some guys talk about it. And the reason I'm on, and it's hard for me to put anybody above Michael, but Michael was always going to be the best player 4 out of 7 games. But the difference is, every time Tom Brady played a football game, it was a game 7. I never had thought about it like that. I mean, you think about that. Every football game in the playoffs is a game 7. Like, if Michael, he's going to win most series because he's going to be the best player 4 out of 7 games. But when you play in football, every single football game in the playoffs is a game 7. And you think about that. That's incredible to have all those game 7s and to get to 10 Super Bowls and to win 7. And people can say he's at home. It doesn't matter. Everybody loses at home. First of all, I can't believe he's not retired. I'm not going to lie. Because if you do what he just did, beat Drew Brees in New Orleans, beat Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field, and then beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, that would be the greatest drop the mic ever in sports. It'd be like if somebody won a major and just quit on the spot. To beat those 3 guys in New Orleans, Lambeau, and Pat Mahomes, that to me, if he walked away right now, I'd be like, yeah, it can't get better than that. That would be the greatest mic drop in the history of civilization. That's how cool that would be. I'm like, to beat those 3 guys and walk away on number 7, that would be one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, barring injury, how long would you expect to see him play?
Well, I think he's got to be really careful because, Father Time is always going to win. And you have to be realistic. You said a little bit earlier, he threw 3 interceptions against Green Bay, and he wasn't great in the Super Bowl. At some point, Father Time is going to win. And I don't think anything would be better. You have to be, because one thing I know, it happens real quick when you get old. You wake up one day and you're like, I don't think I can move anymore. So I don't know, but this would have been the perfect walk-off home run, in my opinion.
How big a loss was it for you that the Bucs won this game?
A nice car, a real nice car, as a matter of fact. But hey, that's okay. A real nice
wait a second,
car.
Chuck. What do you consider a nice car? Because what you consider a nice car and what we consider a nice car may be two different things.
A nice Mercedes.
Whoa!
A good Mercedes. No, nothing stupid.
Like a G-Wagon?
Like
are we talking like or what are we talking about?
Wait. How much is a G-Wagon? Did you say? You said G-Wagon?
Yeah, it's $100,000, isn't it?
Well, it was a G-Wagon.
With special interior?
Hey, listen. It don't matter. Hey, listen. If you got a car that's $100,000, it don't matter what the interior is.
That's true.
Wait, Chuck, you always tell us that the best place to watch the Super Bowl is Vegas, but I assume that didn't happen this year, or did it? Where did you do your Super Bowl stuff this year?
Well, Vegas. I went back to Vegas.
You did,
but they gave me a room for 10 of my boys. I normally take about 20 guys with me and we watch normally at a convention center with like 20,000 people. I've done that for the last 22 years, and it's like the greatest place to watch the Super Bowl. But this year, you couldn't do that. So they gave me an area for 10 guys. I had 10 guys with me, and we watched it on a big screen. But I was in Vegas. That's the best place to watch the Super Bowl. But we couldn't do the big convention center anymore, but I still went to Vegas.
Didn't you recently make a big bet with Shaq as well, like a $500,000 bet?
Oh, no. Just 5, not 500, 5,000.
Okay. I thought I heard it differently.
No. It was on the same game. It was on the same game. He took Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, hang in there. I want to ask you about Carson Wentz, because I know you're an Eagles fan, and the Bears are rumored to be interested. If you would give that a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Deshaun Watson stuff and some other fun stuff with Chuck coming up. The conversation continues with a Hall of Famer and even a better guy, Charles Barkley, joining his buddies Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. We'll get to hoops here in a minute, Chuck. But I know you're an Eagles fan, and you know us. We're always looking for a quarterback. So the Bears are supposed to be rumored as being an interested team in Carson Wentz. Are you a fan, and what would you give up for him?
Man, I tell you what they're giving for these quarterbacks, I don't know if I would give up all that stuff. I'm not going to lie. Man, you think about it, you're giving up 2 number ones and a number 2. That's a lot of talent you're giving away. And how are you going to be able to compete? So I really don't. If I ran a team, I'm not giving up 2 number 1 picks and number 2 unless it's a guy who he's got to already be the MVP. That's just my personal opinion.
Someone like Watson. Would you give
him? Listen, I love Deshaun Watson, but how are you going to get your team better if you're giving up all these picks? I mean,
how are you ever going to get?
If I'm the Texans, I make these trades because we're no good, and the only way, and the last bozo gave away all your number 1 picks for the next couple of years. That's my only chance of rebuilding for the future. So I think it's going to be a win-win for Deshaun and the Texans because they're not going to be any good. Bill O'Brien gave away all their number 1 picks for the next couple of years, so he ain't going to have nobody to play with. I think they did J.J. Watt a favor, so now he can go to any team he wants to. But giving away 2 number 1 picks, man, that's a lot.
Chuck, I look at it like an NBA team, though. You could build a really nice team, and if you don't have that superstar, you're not going anywhere. It's a superstar league. I've got to have a superstar quarterback. I'm a Bears fan. I've never had it. I'll get Watson, and I'll figure out the rest later.
You know what? That's the job of the guy who makes those decisions. And if the decision works, you're a hero. If it don't work, you can start packing your stuff up. And that's the job. That is the job. Like, do I give away 2 number 1s? And, because you're going to get more than you got for Matt Stafford. So you might get 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s for Deshaun Watson. But if it don't work, you got to go.
What happened to Carson Wentz, Charles?
One thing, living in Philly during the summer, I think he lost the locker room. Just talking to people in Philly and some reporters, and they were obviously in private conversation, so I can't tell you names. I think he lost the locker room. And once you lose the locker room, it's tough to get it back. And you know what I think, and something that really bothered a bunch of players. You remember when Jalen Hurts started like the last 3 or 4 games, and Carson Wentz leaked that he wanted to be traded or he was not going to be happy being a backup. I think that really was the final nail in the coffin for the players. Like, you have that conversation privately. But he said it, like, one of the nights before Jalen Hurts was going to start, like, the second game after he had won the first game, Carson Wentz says he will not be happy being a backup. Number one, he can think that, but you don't say that the night before a game because that pissed the other players off. So I think the only thing I can think, he lost the locker room, plain and simple.
Chuck, to Hoops, we were texting around New Year's time, and then at the end of the text conversation, you said you were laughing at my Bulls like you were doing a few months ago because you thought they were going to be really bad, and it looked like they would be really bad in the beginning when you were laughing at them over text, but they're not good. But at least it looks like Zach LaVine is taking that next step. Do you at least like what you see from Zach?
He's played pretty well. I will tell you one thing that's bothered me. I'm not sure why the basketball is so bad right now. I think we can all say we've been very disappointed in the level of basketball. I mean, the Lakers, Clippers, and the Jazz have separated themselves. The Sixers and Milwaukee have separated themselves, and Brooklyn's just fun to watch because everybody want to see a train wreck. But the level of basketball hasn't been great this year. I don't know what the deal is with it, but Zach has played pretty well. Marketing was starting to play well before he got hurt. But, man, I'm concerned about the basketball. It hasn't been great across the board.
I was going to ask you, Charles, how do you feel about the young guys in this league right now and the direction they're taking this? The interview with Shaq and Donovan Mitchell got a little bit uncomfortable for the viewer.
Well, these guys are so sensitive. Like, we were talking about Donovan, and we said he's an all-star, not a superstar. And the point that I was making, to be a superstar, you got to impact the game more than one way. He's a terrific player. He's an all-star. There's a lot of guys who are all-stars, but I said he's not a superstar. And Shaq agreed with me, and then he just took it to the interview, which I'm not sure he should have did that. but I always said there's no way I'm going to say a player is a superstar unless he can win the game multiple ways. There are a lot of guys who can get you a lot of points, but if they don't get you points, they have zero impact on the game.
Who are the true superstars in the game right now, Chuck?
LeBron, Giannis, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Am I missing anybody?
AD.
Steph. Who'd you say?
Anthony Davis?
He's too inconsistent for me personally. He's got first of all, he got enough talent. He should be the best player in the league. But and his numbers are down across the board.
How about
Embiid?
How about Doncic?
Doncic and Embiid and Lillard.
Doncic is playing just pretty good, in my opinion. Embiid has turned into he's playing like a superstar. He finally realized he was 7 feet tall and got in the paint instead of shooting threes all the time, and he's just killing people right now. But that's pretty much it.
You don't consider Lillard a superstar?
He doesn't impact the game enough other than scoring. He's a terrific player, don't get me wrong, but if he doesn't score, he has no other impact on the game.
Is that why Jimmy Butler is so good, Charles? Because he doesn't need to score 30 a night to have an impact on a game?
Well, we talked about that last night because he brings that intensity that the other guys, if I don't play hard, Jimmy going to kick my ass. There's guys on teams you're like, they're not the best player, but they bring that intangible that you're like, yeah, I'm scared of that guy right there. He plays as hard as you can play. That's why Jimmy didn't like playing with Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns. He's like, if I'm going to play hard, you guys better play hard. And if you don't play hard with Jimmy Butler, he's going to fight you.
Yeah.
He is going to literally fight you.
But back
to same thing with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
There's a reason he was hard on teammates. Like, wait, I'm the best player in the world. If I'm going to come out here and bust my hump, you're going to play hard or I'm going to come after you. That's an intangible, man, that can't be measured.
Back to LaVine for a minute, Charles. How good do you think he is now, and where's his ceiling, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think he has a ceiling. He just got to learn to impact the game other ways. He could be a great defender. I mean, he's got a perfect body, but I don't think we look at him as an elite defender. Like right now, he's an elite offensive player. But like you would never say he's not going to get you enough rebounds or assists. If you look at the stat sheet, he's going to get you 30 points a night, but that's pretty much it. But he could be an elite defender.
Chuck, what do you feel about the Mavs situation with the anthem? This is turned into a big hot button topic with Mark Cuban. The NBA wants to continue the anthem. People in prior years, I think Bob Costas' take was always, why do we even play the anthem before a sporting event? How do you feel about this topic?
Well, I think personally I'm going to stand for the anthem. If guys want to protest, I think that's all within their rights, but I'm personally going to stand for the anthem. But like I say, I got no problem with guys protesting. The thing that was interesting about the Mavs thing, if Mark Cuban hadn't said anything, I don't think nobody know they weren't playing the anthem. That's what was crazy about the whole thing. There's not a single person who knew that the Mavs had not played the anthem all season.
He drew attention to it.
Yeah, they drew attention to it. And then, unfortunately, this country we live in right now, we got these foolish Democrats and Republicans, and I said both of them are fools and idiots and jackasses. They make you pick and choose over every subject now. So something that shouldn't be fought over, hey, if you want to stand for the anthem, you have that right. If you want to protest the anthem, you have that right. But unfortunately, these Democrats and Republicans unscrewed up the world, and people make you have to pick a team, and it sucks. The team is the United States of America. It's not Democrats or Republicans. It's the United States of America. That's the team.
Yeah.
But these fools in politics, no, you got to be on one team or the other. Yeah, I'm for the United States of America. That's what team I'm on. I have the right to protest. Y'all tell me I have free speech, but if I kneel, y'all go crazy. No, you're right. We're in America. You have the right to peacefully protest.
What about the NBA players not being happy about the AllStar Game?
Well, I think that they have a really good point. Two things. Number one, when we finished last season, they said, Chuck, we'll see you in 2 months. Then they called me 2 weeks later and said, no, we're going to start next week. I'm like, wait, y'all told me I had 2 weeks off. Excuse me, 2 months off. And I said, well, we need to play the games, Chuck. I'm like, okay, you know what? I understand that. Then they're like, okay, we'll give you a break. You guys ain't going to have the All-Star game. I'm like, well, I said, first of all, I don't care personally. I said, but these guys at some point going to need a break. I said, okay, we cancel the All-Star game. You guys going to get a week to 10 days to get it together before we make the playoff push. Then they call me back. Then they call me back like a month later, 6 weeks later, and says, yeah, we need to play the All-Star game too. So they have screwed these players twice. They told them they were going to have 2 months off, and they told them it was not going to be an All-Star game. So I understand why the players are mad, and they have the right to be.
Chuck, great stuff. We always appreciate it from you. Yeah.
Chuck.
Thank you for the
Hey,
friendship.
man,
Stay healthy,
let me say
okay?
this. You guys are the best. Hey, I hope y'all both healthy. I hope your families are healthy. Stay safe and wear a mask. Tell my boy Flom I say hello, and I love you guys. And take care of yourself.
Thank
Right
you,
back
Chuck.
at you, Chuck.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
There
buddy.
you go. Charles Barkley is just one of the best guys out there. Whether you agree or disagree with any of his stances, he is one of the best guys